Episode 5 of Ride the Wave. This episode is Why is your bias?
Your bias. Why?
We're in a bias culture with the K-pop community. I don't know when it started. I don't know what the history of it when it began, but for some reason we decided to just like hook on to certain individuals within groups and like stick with them throughout the years. And
There's like the groups you like, and then there's like that one member who just is kind of your favorite, even though you love all the members. But there's that one that kind of just like sticks out for you.
yeah, just kind of like gum on your shoe.
You like connect with them.
No, you just can't get it off. She's like, gum on the shoe. You're biased. So we decided to make an episode where we really start digging into the why. Why did you choose this person off so many people that are just as amazing? They can dance well and sing well. Why did you choose this one as your bias?
And this episode is categorized under the Ride the Wave subtopic, Deep Dive. So we have two different topics that we go over in Ride the Wave episodes. We have Deep Dive, which is where we kind of dig deep into the feelings. And we have Ripple Effect, which is kind of...
Well, Ripple Effect is kind of the spread, kind of like a contagious virus.
It starts somewhere and then just kind of spreads.
Right, like a domino effect of like spreading of things. So
Exactly.
Today's episode is Deep Dive thing. We broke it down into 3 categories that we thought would kind of round in on why we choose certain people as our biases. The first one is just matching personalities. It's so easy, and even you do this with, naturally with friends, that you kind of hone into people that are similar to your personalities. And I think it's the same for when you choose your bias. You find someone that's similar to you, and mine is Jin. And yours?
BTS Jin. My top is definitely SHINee Taemin.
So we have like people that we chose because they have the same type of personality as Jin. He's fun and chaotic, and he's just a crazy person now that I think about it. He just loves to enjoy life, and that's how I am. I like to like take life by the horns, and I like to just have fun. And Jin is that type of person, and so I just naturally, without even thinking about it, just lean towards Jin. I like the whole BTS group because I'm just like, oh my god, that guy is so fun. I love it.
For Taemin, I feel like he is generally kind of a shyer person, but when he's in a comfortable surrounding or with people that he's familiar with, he kind of comes out of his shell and his real personality shines, which is kind of how I am. He's also very creative focused, especially when he is working on his own concerts and music and everything. He's very involved with all the process of it. And he's also just kind of like a mischievous person.
So you guys are similar, like foxes. It's funny how that happens, because when you think of bias, it's like, oh, they're so cool, they dance well, blah, blah, blah. But when you really think about it, it's so much more. Matching personalities.
I will say sometimes you have that personality that might be the opposite type. I feel like sometimes that's the case as well. It's not necessarily someone who's exactly like you. Sometimes you're drawn to someone who has the opposite personality, maybe some traits that you wish that you had and you kind of admire about that.
Your missing piece, yin yang, baby. The second category is their story, like a shared story. Sometimes we kind of see where the idols come from, you know, how did they work themselves up from point A to point B, and that whole transition, their story is what we relate to, and that's kind of why we stick to that individual. For me, I chose Jay Park. Jay Park. Like, I just love where he came from. I mean, he started from nothing, essentially. He worked his way up. Not only did he like have different type of like issues that he dealt with by himself, he managed to dig himself up out of hell, essentially, and started to have his own business. Like, that's just something that sings to me. Not only is it an underdog character, but it also is this guy that created his own business and is passionate about what he does, and I really do relate to that type of story.
I think one of my favorite stories that I relate to is Amber from FX. She has like a very like kind of deep story where she always is like dealing with these struggles, and as much as like especially when she was very into like the K-pop industry. She's gone off on her own now and mostly promotes in the US. But they really tried at times to like kind of make her conform to what they wanted to, and then she just like, she really never let it change who she was. She really stuck true to herself, kept following her dreams, kept pursuing things that she wanted to do, and that included her going out and learning how to do stuff on her own from connections and friends that she made, and just kind of grew from there.
So it's just kind of, they just tug our heartstrings, you know? It's just like, oh wow, this is kind of something that I relate to for my own story or something. Our third and final category is what we aspire to be.
Be inspired.
Inspire? Inspired, man. Inspired to be. We find people that it's just like, this is it. This is something I want to work towards. This is something I want to focus on, because you see them completely like kicking butt on it. And for me, that person is Wonho. Wonho for sure. I see this he's shy, but he's able to like come out of that shell, but also he has so many like creative like entities, you know. He produces, he works out, he dances, he has all of these like different things that he's so involved and passionate about, and that's something that I aspire to be, especially when it comes to just that creative mindset of like him producing so many like amazing songs and still just being able to like stay fit and look good. I'm like, okay, that's something I want to have in the bag. So Wonho is like one of my biases, and that's that.
I think this one hits me really different when I think about all my different biases in groups, because I think this particular category really strikes hard for me with all of my favorites from groups like Taemin, Amber, J-Hope, Suga from BTS. Like all of them really inspire me in different ways. J-Hope and Taemin, especially with like dancing. Suga inspires my passion for music. Just like the songs that he writes just really hit me a different way. And for Amber, she just like works hard and like learns stuff on her own so that she can do the things that she wants, and those are all things that I really just have let kind of lead me on the path that I am now.
I mean, it's quite interesting when you start questioning yourself on why you really like this person, and come to find out this person has matching personalities that you vibe with, or someone that you aspire to be in so many elements that pushes you to work harder, or someone that you relate to in their story, their journey to who they are today. So,
or someone that you're just really that inspired for to make positive changes in your life.
Exactly, right. It's like a good influence. So that's what we decided to take the time and break down. Why is your bias really your bias? I mean, ask yourself that question. Yeah, what is the real reason? They're high, yeah, sure, but what else?
What are the other elements that really like draws you to them?
Right. So force yourself to take a deep dive into your thoughts and ask yourself, why is your bias your bias? Tune in for episode 6.
I just